Hello my friends, William Poloniak here again from Whole Health Foundation. Today I'm making a large batch of juice with collard greens, Anaheim peppers, and a number of other greens. Let me show you the rest of my ingredients. Alright, in addition to my collard greens and my Anaheim peppers, I have some watercress, about 6 large cucumbers, some dandelion greens, celery, about 12 stalks of celery, carrots of course, ginger, turmeric, and garlic. So let's make some juice. Okay, so I'm going to point out that we're using the front-loading feed tube, and this eliminates blowback. A straight feed tube that goes straight up and down will splash produce up to your ceiling. This will eliminate that. I'm also going to use the near zero blowback cutter that has over 80 teeth cut in. Let's put the cutter on. And I'm going to plug in the thermometer. And I want to point out that I'm using the Whole Health Foundation model juicer that has the solid bottom plate. Alright, there you have the bottom base plate that's solid. It has a lifetime warranty, and it enables you to get over 10% more juice from your produce. Alright, I'm going to start making juice using, well, let's do the celery first. Celery is one of the most difficult things to shred. It has a lot of fiber, but let's put that through. Is absolutely wonderful. It's just like setting butter through a hot knife. Most people don't know that avocado pits are full of nutrition. Don't throw them away, shred them. But they're very dense, so you have to go slowly.
That's the nut of the avocado?
What's that?
The center of the avocado?
Yeah, the avocado pit. Alright, some dandelion greens. I'm going to do some more dandelion greens. Now, whenever your cutter backs up like that, you want to give it a jump start with the switch. Notice my juicer's working hard, so what I'm going to do is pull out the grid, clean it on both sides. Whenever your juicer's working hard, clean the grid. So let's do that again. When my temperature is over 20 degrees centigrade, you can go as high as 35 or 40. Your cutter and your feed tube. Let's do some cucumber next. And I'm going to put some turmeric through again. I buy my turmeric in bulk and then I wash it in a washer. That's 150 grams of turmeric. Next I'm going to do my watercress. Watercress is very easy to grow in your garden. All it needs is water. Bell pepper. And next I'm going to put in some collard greens. The juice is working hard again, so I'm going to put in some more ice cubes and then clean the grid. Now what I do whenever my temperature gets above 20, it's up to 30 now, is I put in the ice cubes and clean the grid. So now it's down to 25. It's very important to clean the grid frequently. You'd be surprised how many people don't do that. So we're down to 24. I'm going to put in 3 more ice cubes. And we'll do more Anaheim peppers. More dandelion. Let's do some more cucumber. Anyway, let's start making some carrot juice. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is run a couple of carrots through this grid. Then I'm going to change to a smaller grid, which is better for carrots. Now, because I have a puddle of juice down here, I'm going to send some carrots through and let the pulp come up. And as I mentioned earlier, carrot pulp absorbs liquid very, very well. Let's do that one more time. I love this Near Zero cutter. It shreds much, much better than the regular cutter and 4 degrees cooler. I'm going to clean this grid. It's obviously got a lot of fiber in it because I have to pry it out with a knife. So I'm going to clean the J grid, clean the fiber off it. And I'm going to switch to the number 2 grid, which is 1/8 inch holes. You can see the difference there. Put this aside, put the number 2 grid, which is better for carrots, and we'll do the rest of the carrots. Now when you have small carrots, you can do 2 or 3 at a time. Alright, there's the last of my carrots, and one nice feature of this front-loading feed tube is you can see in here, and sometimes you can see some produce is not shred. There's a couple of chunks in here. What I do is I put 2 fingers full of pulp in there, and I force whatever produce is down in here through. So next I'm going to clean my grid, my feed tube, mix the produce, and make some juice. The next step is to carefully, because this is so full, mix the greens with the carrots, and then we're going to press some juice. And to get a really, really good mix, it's important to rotate the bowl in both directions, because for some reason you get a better mix. Okay, what I'm going to demonstrate now and give you some tips along the way is my 6 cloth less work method. Here's a good idea. When you have your cloths in your folding tray, leave them hanging. Pull your tray out over the counter so they don't touch your counter. You want to emphasize cleanliness. So the first thing I'm going to do is put 3 scoops in each of these cloths, and later on I'm going to take the remaining pulp. We're not going to throw the pulp away, and I'm going to show you how we get 10% or more juice from the remaining pulp. And most people would throw the pulp away. And you get the best nutrients from your last 10% of your press. That's why I made this solid bottom plate that enables you to get that extra 10%. So 3 scoops into each cloth. You fold it over, flatten it down, put a little crease at the back to enable your folding. Pull it in and fold it. And I'm going to put these first 2 cloths in the tray. Now this is very, very important. Make sure your tray is on the press plate properly, centered left to right, centered front to back. You go all the way back, and then you back it off a little bit, because you do not want this to go up too fast. If it goes up too fast, it'll overflow the sides, which you don't want, and there's a possibility that the cloths are slippery because of the wet pulp, and they might come apart. So you want to go up slowly. Now while that's happening, I'm going to fill more cloths. this goes forward, this goes over, the spent cloths go on top. This is my 6-cloth, less work method. I have streamlined this process so it takes you less time. Now all the way back it off a little bit. Now you notice because of the cucumbers, I have a lot of liquid in here. So what I do, I may have to do this more than once, is very, very carefully and slowly pour this into the collection bowl. Now the reason I say slowly, the first time I did that I got it all over my countertop because I went too fast. So what I'm going to do now is put new pulp on top of the spent pulp. You never throw away your pulp. And we'll continue.
But you keep putting 3 scoops.
Oh, I put 3, I should have put 2. Oh well, we'll get away with it this time because the patty is very thin. So flatten that, set it aside. And as you said, this time we'll put 2 scoops, not 3. That was a mistake, but we probably got away with it because we were doing it the first time. So 2 scoops. And on your last cloth, advance that all the way.
Oh, so then you hit the lever all the way after it's almost done.
When I get to my last cloth. So this goes forward, that goes over. The spent cloths go on top. This goes in the tray again. Very important, centered left to right, make sure it's on the tray properly. Centered front to back, all the way back, back it off. Now, another method with my 6-cloth, less work method, is when I have puddling in the juice, I take this pulp and I put it in the puddle to absorb all that juice. And we'll put in 3 scoops this time. So we're starting from scratch. Turn it over, flatten it, set it aside. When you're on your last cloth, advance that all the way. And I still have some puddling in here, so I'm going to take this pulp and put it in the puddles to absorb all that liquid in there. And then put in 3 scoops again. Back it off. So again, as tight a package as you can make. This goes forward, that goes over. The spent cloths go on top, and we continue with that same rhythm until
You might want to empty your juice container. You're going to overflow.
We're going to overflow, right. So rather than press this, I'm going to turn this off because we don't want that overflow. I'm going to put this back a little bit, so that this does not drip on the countertop, and I'm going to fill some bottles. Now what I do is I fill the bottles leaving 10% for filtered water or distilled water. I don't like my juice to be too potent, so I leave enough room for 10% water. You could fill it all the way to the top if you want. It's each person to their own. I think if you were diabetic, you'd want to dilute your juice like I do. I'm not diabetic, but I don't like juice that is too concentrated, so I put water in it. Now that we've filled those bottles, we'll put the tray on the press plate properly, make sure they're centered, left to right, front to back, all the way back, and back it off a little bit, and we'll continue until we're done. Now, as before, I'm not going to throw away this pulp, and I'm going to show you later how we can get 10% more juice. So 2 scoops on top of the spent pulp. As tight a package as you can make, turn it upside down, flatten it, set it aside. And when you're on your last cloth, advance that all the way. 2 scoops on top of the spent pulp. And again, my 6-cloth less work method. This goes forward, that goes over, the spent cloths go on top. 2 more scoops, or 2 more cloths full. In the press, centered left to right, centered front to back, all the way back. Back it off a little bit. Now this patty is getting very, very thick, so I think this is the last time I'm going to put 2 scoops on. Later I'll put only 1 scoop. The reason for that is you want the claws to be able to fit into the press. Two scoops.
Gotta turn it back all the way.
All the way. Yeah, thanks for the reminder. Sometimes when I'm making a video, I forget. You know, I'm in the heat of the moment.
Sure.
So back that off. The spent pulp goes on top. This goes in, centered left to right, centered front to back, all the way back, and back it off. Now I can tell this is thin because these are probably the claws where we put the spent pulp in to absorb the juice. So I'm going to put 3 scoops. Oh no, 2 scoops. Instead of 1, but on the thicker claws I'm going to start putting 1 scoop. Okay, so we're down to the last of our claws. What I'm going to do with this pulp, I'm going to form it into a very, very tight package and show you how I can get 10% more juice.
Okay, so
And watch my folding technique. I'm going to fold this cloth under 2 or 3 or 4 times, as many times as I can, and that's to minimize slippage. And I'll do that in both directions. Now notice I have a very, very tight package.
Right.
I'm going to flatten that, set it aside, advance that all the way. And I'll do the same thing here. Right, as you can see, I've repackaged the spent pulp into 3 double packets, and I'm going to use a measuring beaker to show how much extra juice we can get. Most people would throw that pulp away. My advice is don't throw it away, repackage it and press it. Let's see if we get any more juice and how much more do we get. So what I'm going to do is go all the way back, back it off a little bit. Yeah, this is juice that most people would throw away, and they don't even know that the best nutrients are in this last 10% of the squeeze. Well, my customers know it. People that buy the juices from me, they know about this because this is in all my videos. So far, we have 12 ounces. That's 1 full bottle of juice. Whatever's in my garden that's ready, that's what I usually do. I have some formula that are simple, like only carrot juice, or carrot and beet and spinach. So far we have an extra 5 ounces of juice. Okay, I'm topping this off with distilled water. You can use distilled water. I mean the filtered water. I use distilled water because I have a water distiller. And I top it off until it's overflowing, and that way there's no air in the bottle whatsoever, and that way my juice will last between 5 and 10 days. So we'll cap this off and we'll do a taste test and put them in the fridge. Okay, as you can see, we have 5, 10, 15 bottles of juice from this batch, and remember that 2 of these bottles came from pressing the pulp by repackaging it. So we probably got a little more than 10% juice, plus enough for a taste test. So let's do a taste test. Alright, we'll do a taste test with this juice that I suspect is going to be a little bitter because of all the dandelion greens, but let's find out. Well, it's actually quite palatable. It is a little bitter because of the dandelion greens. Well, I hope you like what you've seen, my friends, and if you do, please tell a friend. If you'd like to call me, my phone number is 760-753-0321. My email address is developtrust@cox.net, and my webpage is wholehealthfound.com. See you in the next video.